Hey, what's going on, everybody? I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. We are going to kick things off talking about a number of things today. And if you feel comfortable with it, be sure to say hi in the chat. I'm still kind of getting my wits about what I want to call these weekend live streams. I might just go with Metagamers Live. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But just trying to figure out a flow for it. And I'm sure it'll evolve over the next few weekends as we continue to grow this thing. And we'll go from there because there's a lot of stuff that's going to be happening both on the tech, the entertainment, as well as the gaming side throughout the course of the rest of this year. Hey, here's a question for you. Can you tell the difference? And I should have taken cases off. Between these, which is which? This is the 16 Pro Max. This is the 15 Pro Max. I guess my point is there's really nothing that distinguishes them from one another with the exception of this little camera slider button. Let me see if I can get this to zoom in for you guys. There we go. Right there, that little camera button, which we'll open up and we'll talk a little bit about that. Hey, Peppuccino, how's it going? I know they look almost identical. And I'll be honest and I'll say, if it wasn't for the fact that I wanted to do coverage on the 16 Pro Max this time around, I probably wouldn't have upgraded. Because coming from the 15 Pro Max, I honestly feel like for me personally, and this is going to be different for everybody, of course, but for me personally, I feel like nothing feels substantial in this upgrade. And I've been using iPhone since day one. So it really feels like, and I don't want to be negative because I try to remain positive in all things. And I kind of hate saying this as well, but to me, this upgrade feels a bit uninspired for the first time for Apple. It's just kind of the way it is. And I mean, I guess we'll see if you're a heavy gamer, if you utilize the, the A19 now, then maybe you'll see a bigger difference. But really what I use my phone for is a lot of web browsing, a lot of communication on the forums. I'm starting to film a little bit more on it. So that's, quite frankly, that's the biggest selling point for me. I think that for anybody, my personal take would be for anybody who is upgrading from an iPhone 14 and below, it's a good upgrade. But if you've got a 15 Pro or a 15 Pro Max, you could probably wait. I mean, honestly, you probably could. It doesn't, I mean, I know it's supposed to be a little bit bigger. It doesn't really feel that bigger to me in the hand. Now I will say, and I can't show it to you because it's on my wife's wrist. She upgraded to the Apple Watch Series 10 and she got it in rose gold. And I'll let you know that although when you put those watches side by side, the thickness of the Series 10 doesn't seem that thinner. Once you put it on your wrist, it really does. And she's coming from a Series 9. So I think in that instance, it's very much worth it. I also think that it's also worth it because to me, the screen looks a lot nicer when you compare it to the Series 9. So I think the Series 10, absolutely. And with something like that, I would say Apple Care is a wise decision on the watch. I want to say it was $399 a month. And because of the way that the screen kind of curves, it's not like the Apple Watch Ultra that I'm wearing here, where it's really flat and you can kind of, if you bang it, it's okay. I've done that a number of times. I'd be a little concerned about banging by accident. You know, you swing your arm, it hits something, and then suddenly the corner is cracked. So to be able to have Apple Care Plus on that for $399 a month, or you can pay it up front, I think it's worth it. And so that's something I would recommend if you're picking up an Apple Watch. Um, but yeah, I mean, with the iPhone, I've got a lot of cases. I've got a lot of stuff that I'm working on. As a matter of fact, when we're done with this live stream, I'm going to be filming a lot. And so over the next coming days, you're going to see a trickle of videos released on the channel as it pertains to iPhone content. And then it will start to taper off. I mean, we'll still have content coming in for iPhone stuff, but this is kind of the flood since the release just happened. Um, I guess I'd ask all of you out there, if you're watching this right now, if you've got an iPhone, or even if it's an Android device for that matter, it doesn't matter what it is. Do you use screen shields on your iPhones or on your Pixel phone or on your Samsung phone, whatever it is? I'd be curious to see if you do. And the reason why I ask that is because in the past, I haven't. I figured I'll buy the insurance, I'll buy the Apple Care, and if anything happens to it, I'll just get it swapped out. And then if it happens again, I'll make that decision if I want to pop a screen shield on or not. For some reason, with this particular phone, I was inclined to get screen shields for it. And Pippuccino says, I do always have, but I'm thinking of taking mine off soon. And see, that's what I'm saying is, because I haven't used them and now I put one on this phone, I'm in this weird situation where, like, I'm not sure if I like it, to be honest with you. So first off, when it comes to the new iPhone, at least the 16 Pro Max, I picked up 2 off of Amazon that were highly recommended. There was this one right here. It's by Torres. And I didn't install it because all the reviews are saying that with the smaller bezels, it doesn't fit quite right. So I'm actually going to return that. And I also picked up this one that I haven't opened yet either, by ESR. This one I've seen videos of. It creates a really bad rainbow effect all the way around the edges of the screen. So those are both actually going back. I went into Apple online, that is, and for my iPhone, the 16 Pro Max here, I ordered what they are selling, which is a Belkin Ultra Glass 2. And what I didn't realize, it was their retail box that has a little applicator inside. You bring it home and you install it yourself. That's something I've always done. But again, in a year of firsts for me, I decided, you know what, I'm going to have them install it, right? What can go wrong? I'm sure, it'll go off well enough, or it'll go on well enough. And I went in and I found out that they'll install it for free, but you have to buy the one that they have in store, because the one that you order online for pickup in store, the one that you just pick up off of the shelf that comes in a box, they can't install that. So they returned it and gave me this, which it's the same thing, but it comes in this package. I did a video on this and posted it on this channel last night. It's called the Ultra Glass 2. It's designed for the screen protection system that basically Apple has. It's like a little box, and these things have little holes, and they align and they install just fine. Now, I will say, and you can look at the video because I highly doubt it's going to be visible here. Yeah, but you can't really tell there's a screen shield on here except for a couple of things. So one, and it's in my video, between the silicone case and the screen, there is a small gap like that. What's kind of annoying is you get lint in between the gap where the screen shield is and the gap where the case is. That's unavoidable for any screen shield. So that's kind of, for me, it's kind of bugging me. The other thing is there are a couple of pieces of dust that got under the screen when they installed it. So that's kind of an annoyance as well, because if you're browsing the web and you're on a white background, sometimes those specks show up and you go to flick them off and you realize, oh, that's under the screen. So I'm debating if I'm going to have them reinstall it. I don't know if they would. But with that being said, I don't kind of take back what I said in my video, and that would be, as of right now, if you get an iPhone 16 Pro or Pro Max and you want, in my opinion, what's going to be the best fitting screen shield, this is probably the way to go right now, is to get the one that's an Apple, whether it's the one they install or the one you install yourself, but it's the Belkin Ultra Glass 2. And the reason for that is because they worked with Apple to get the dimensions just right. So you're guaranteed a perfect fit. So that's kind of the way that I would go. Pipchino says, but I also have a much older phone, so I'm not concerned anymore. Good point. I will tell you that it's interesting, right? I have Apple Care on my old 15 Pro Max. You won't see it in the video here, but no screen shield. I've dropped it a couple of times. I've even dropped it on an aggregate driveway, and this is where I can assume this happened. You'll see micro scratches on the screen if you hold it in certain angles at certain light, but there's actually a small gouge that goes straight across like this on the screen. It's not a crack. I have Apple Care, so I might have them replace the screen just so if I sell it, it goes for better value, because you can trade it into Apple. But what I found is if you sell it on a site like swappa.com, you're going to make typically anywhere between $100 to $300 more than what you'd get if you traded it into Apple. And I've had really good luck on swappa.com doing that. So that's kind of my story on the iPhone, as far as how I'm enjoying it. I mean, feels like the same exact phone. I'm going through different cases. I will say I am fond of the Apple silicone cases. They're some of my favorites for about the first 6 months. And then we'll see if this one does the same thing. But no matter what happens, when you first buy the Apple silicone cases, they always come out very powdery. Not like powdery on your hands, but like a soft powder feel to them. And they're very comfortable to hold. They have good grip, but not too grippy. And then what I find is even after keeping these things clean, like 6-8 months later, they start to feel really almost like a tacky, sticky-ish sort of feel. And it's really off-putting. I don't like it at all. And so that's why at that point, I usually get rid of the silicone cases and move to something else. So I don't know, and I keep my cases clean. I will also mention, I don't know if it's a phone thing. I'm going to have to do some more testing, but I use the Peak Design wallet, and maybe it's the case, maybe it's the phone. I don't know. This thing sticks way more on this than on the prior gen silicone case. So that's a good thing. It's not a problem. It doesn't fall off. It never fell off before, but I can tell you for sure there is a stronger magnetic kind of attraction here that's happening. The other thing I'll mention about the new iPhone is that camera button along the side. I have reached to grab my phone and you give it a little squeeze and boom, you engage that. Now I know you can turn certain, abilities to do that on and off with a double click or a double squeeze or whatever you want to call it on the phone. But it's something that's been happening. And I would say it doesn't, make me not want to use this case, but it does give you options, because a lot of third-party cases you're going to find, and you'll see when I start posting the videos, this area here is not covered like on the Apple phones. It's actually cut out. And usually I don't like cutouts, but in this case, it's an option, and it makes it so you don't necessarily press that button as easily. But in some initial testing, I found that it still works just as well. So I'll keep my Apple silicone case. That's this guy right here, the one I was just showing you. And by the way, this is in stone gray. They're expensive though. They really are. I mean, $49 for these cases is not cheap, considering what else is out there. I will say one of the videos you're going to see happening next is on this one. And it's the other Apple case. So they quietly, not so quietly got rid of the fine woven cases. I did still see the fine woven wallets in the Apple Store this week, but they got rid of the cases, and it seems they've replaced it with the Beats iPhone cases. And I thought I was going to like these, and I might still keep it, but I'm almost inclined to return it because it is a fingerprint magnet galore. I really like some of these colors. There's like 4 colors, but I don't know if I'm going to get it to focus here for you. And I'll show this in the video, but I mean, it almost reminds me of the old Spec candy shell cases. But this thing, I mean, there's a good angle. It shows fingerprints like nobody's business. And maybe that doesn't bother some of you, but for me, oh my gosh, that is a major annoyance. The bottom is open. It does have button coverage for that camera along the side. And it's really plush on the inside. And I do like the color. I just wish it wouldn't show those fingerprints so much because it is a wreck. So I'll be doing a video on that, and then I'm going to make a decision on whether or not I'm going to keep this guy or if it's going to go back to Apple. Like I say, I'll keep the silicone case. I'm thinking I'm going to probably return this Beats case just because those fingerprints are going to drive me up a wall. And again, boom, $49, not cheap. So yeah, these, I mean, they're nice when they're clean. They're really nice when they're clean, but it's so hard to keep it clean. So I think that's going to go back. Last thing on cases, really compelling, I know. I hate fingerprints too. It just drives me up a wall. I haven't shown you guys on the channel yet. It's going to happen this week. I got literally a huge box of pretty much the entire Prodigy case lineup for the iPhone 16 Pro Max. So if you were to go to their website, it's what, iamprodigy.com. Yep, iamprodigy.com right there. You can see everything that they've got, and they actually worked with me. I'm not getting a cut on this or anything like that. But they enabled a code for all of the Metagamers viewers that if you go to purchase something in the coupon code box, type in RICK30, R-I-C-K 30, and it'll give you 30% off of whatever you purchase from them. And the reason why I bring that up is so far on hand, and again, you're going to see a lot of these starting today and going through the week. I've got cases from Prodigy. I've got the Apple cases. I've got cases from Urban Armor Gear. And I also have them from a lesser known brand. I'm trying to cover only some of the majorly known brands unless I get something that really is unique. But everything that I've seen so far, outside of the Apple cases, these Prodigy cases called the Formula, these are nice, really, really, really nice. And I think I did a little short either on YouTube or YouTube Shorts, I believe it was. Might have been TikTok. I don't know. Let me show you real quick. And then, like I say, I'm doing a video on this as well. And it comes in 2 colors. It comes in this smoke color. It has a frosted back. So I like that because you'll be able to see your phone, but it's not going to really show fingerprints because of that frosted kind of back. And it also, so it comes in smoke and gray. This is gray, the lighter of the two. This is smoke. But what's cool about these is they have these reinforced bumpers. I don't have the ideal lighting, so you're not going to be able to tell really well. Sorry about the focusing. It's always a problem on a live stream. There we go. The gray one has orange refined bumpers. The black one has red. And the other thing that's cool about this is all of the buttons, with the exception of that camera button, because that is a cutout, and I've tested this off camera, and it's easy to reach, it's easy to operate, no problem. But all of the buttons, they have like a metallic finish to it. So you can see the dark one's like a dark metallic finish. The other one's like a gray metallic finish. And then what I really like is it's offset and matches those colors of those reinforced bumpers. So you have a red metallic button for the action button and an orange one, which, by the way, kind of matches the orange action button on the Ultra Watch. So these formula cases are sweet, and I really, really like them. Now, they do add a little bit more bulk. They're still thin, and they add a little bit more bulk than, let's say, Apple's silicone case. But especially if you order directly from IamProdigy.com and you put in the code RIC30, not trying to sell you anything, because again, I'm not getting a cut, but if you put that code in RIC30, you're going to get 30% off. It comes out cheaper than buying a case from Apple. And Prodigy's been in the game for a long time. I've been covering their cases for quite some time. So that's one thing that I would say when it comes to phones. I just can't go caseless. Even with Apple Care, even if when it's a Pixel phone, like I have the Pixel 8 Pro, I don't have the 9 Pro, I just can't go caseless. I need the extra grip. So yeah, so usually I typically go for like the slimmer cases that are nice. How about you guys? Let me know. I'm going to take a sip of my iced coffee and then we'll talk some more. So I guess the only other thing I would mention when it comes to tech is we're going to have one more Apple event that's coming up, and that's going to happen, I believe, in October. More than likely, the biggest thing you're going to hear coming out of that event is going to be the introduction of a new iPad mini. Yeah, Pippuccino says she has to have a case too. Yeah, I just can't. I can't do it without. But yeah, the Apple event coming up in October is more than likely going to be introducing a new iPad mini. I'll be honest with you. One of the reasons why I go with the Pro Max when it comes to the phone is I have a iPad Pro, the big one that it was like the first one on Apple silicone. So it's the one that came with the M1 chip. And I used it for a while for like video editing. And there's something to be said, about video editing with touch. It's pretty cool being able to touch and do stuff like this. But it's too big. I don't use it. So the iPad mini, yeah, for real, like unless, I mean, the iPad mini that's on the market today is fantastic. And if you can get a good deal and you were in the market to pick one up, by all means. But if you can wait till October, because Apple is having an event in October, they will. I don't know if it'll be a formal event like you see with the iPhone, but a new iPad mini will be introduced and available before the end of the year and definitely before the holiday season. And I love the mini because that's something that I could absolutely see myself traveling with. Like a couple of times I've traveled and I did bring my iPad Pro. It's still sort of cumbersome, but I do feel like I could even travel cross country, not just with my phone, but with the mini. And so, yeah, we'll see. I don't know what the new mini will have on it, but it sounds very promising. And I'm excited to hear about that one coming really, really soon. So I think that's probably, as far as tech goes, I mean, there'll be other things. We might hear about a new Mac Studio. That's a possibility. I don't think we're going to hear about the new AirPod Pro 3s, which I really was disappointed we didn't get them in this last introduction of the iPhones. But I think this will probably be the last big tech sort of thing happening before we head into 2025, which then turns my attention to gaming. And I want to talk a little bit about gaming and talk a little bit believe it or not, about music, because I'm really, really keen on music and bands, and I go to a lot of concerts, and there's something that has me super excited. So I'll share that with you guys, and then we'll wrap it up. Um, and I'll let you know what else I'm planning to do, because I am planning to do a live stream probably on Tuesday, but I'll save that for the end as to why as well. Um, so let's transition over to a little bit of gaming news, because this week was rather interesting, and some of it even happened after I did my last live stream. But let's go into a web browser. This is kind of funny, right? So last time we talked about the new PlayStation Pro, and it's releasing on November 7th, if memory serves me correctly. And pre-orders go up on direct.playstation.com the 26th, which is this coming week. And then everywhere else, Best Buy, Amazon, Target, all those places on, I think it's October 3rd. And then it releases on November 7th. Everybody's like, too expensive, I'm not going to do it, et cetera, et cetera. Well, as you see, based on the date, September 19th, today's the 22nd, Sony announced on their blog that they've got celebrating 30 years of PlayStation with a nostalgic look. And so they're doing a throwback to the original PlayStation. And what we get is a bunch of really cool design things, including a new PlayStation 5 Pro console bundle that now has a lot of people that are like, maybe I need to get that. So first off, I'll say, as intriguing as this is to me, I'm going to stick to where I've committed myself. And that's, I'm just going to order a PlayStation 5 Pro. As nice as this limited edition bundle looks, and it is highly limited. Let me see if they said how many. I'm trying to remember now. It's 12,000. It's like 12. It coincides with the date of December 3rd, 1994. So it's like, I think they're making it was like 120,000 or 12,000 of these, but it's really limited. But the idea here is that this package is not only going to include the Pro console, but it's also going to include the DualSense Edge wireless controller, the the charging station, a console cover for the disk drive that, should you purchase individually, you can actually pop that on so it matches, an original PlayStation controller style cable housing, 4 cable ties, a PlayStation sticker, a limited edition poster out of 30 different possible designs, and a paper clip. No pricing has been made available, but I would say that if you were to add all of these things up individually, you're looking at over $1,000. My guess would be this is probably going to retail this package for about $1,299. That's my guess. Could be more. Might be $1,499. Thing is, it doesn't really matter. It's going to sell out because it's highly limited. And unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of scalpers and bots that try to pick this thing up to resell it. So I'll love to see it in person. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Would I love to have one? Oh, I absolutely would. But it's going to be a little bit too expensive. And while everybody's trying to grab this one, I'm just going to grab the standard PS5 Pro, and I'll be happy with that. So they also announced a couple of other limited edition things here, a 30th anniversary limited edition PlayStation Portable that you see right there. They also have a DualSense Edge wireless controller. I love the DualSense Edge controller for my PlayStation 5. And it's just traditional PlayStation white. I'd love to get this. I don't know how much it's limited and if that'll sell out immediately, but I sure would like to get that. And then they have a standard controller as well that's limited too. So there's the number, 12,300. It was not 120. So that makes it even harder to get. So 12,300 units of the Pro console. That thing's going to sell out instantaneously. I can almost guarantee it. So, um, if you're a gamer, are you going to pick one up? Has it changed your mind about the PS5 Pro? Just, I mean, is color enough to say, ooh, I want this special design for my collection? Let me know. Let's get on to some Nintendo news because there's some really cool stuff that leaked this past week as well. And this has me very excited. So I don't know if you saw it, but I believe it was last week. Yep, on September 18th. While these final images are unverified, a source who has not seen one source who has not seen the final Switch 2 console but has been briefed on Nintendo plans told that these images match what the company's told them. So the new Switch, Switch 2, I've heard names like Super Nintendo Switch. That would be cool, actually. A little bit of a throwback. I would be shocked if Nintendo would call it that, but I would really like that if they did. I think that would be cool. This isn't going to release until 2025. If I had to bet, maybe March or April. We'll see. But it looks just like the original Switch, just bigger. And if we look at the Forbes article here, this is the speculation on what it will include, from a CPU, GPU, the memory model, the flash memory model, dual cooling fans, a built-in microphone, the NFC reader model. I mean, this is pretty specific about what it's got. And so we'll see. We'll see if this is true. I've been reading about the Switch 2, and a lot of people who claim to be close to it are saying it would have the closest and kind of line that you could draw is it will have the power of basically an Xbox Series S, not the X, but the Series S, which, if you think about that, for Nintendo and a Nintendo handheld, that would be pretty cool. Now, with that being said, here's some speculation on some rumored games that we might get at or close to launch. Mario Kart 10. Got an advertisement popping up there, but Mario Kart 10, a new 3D Super Mario game. This one has me extremely excited. A new Animal Crossing game. And I did see some mock-up images this week that for Animal Crossing, because I'm a huge Animal Crossing fan, although I haven't played it in so long that if I went back into my game, I'm sure that there are weeds and cockroaches everywhere. It's going to be horrific and terrible. But I've seen mock-ups of the new Animal Crossing, and they're talking about subway systems that take you to other cities, shopping districts, farmers markets, and special holiday markets that show up in the game. And you can see here a rumor from March claims the game will be classic Animal Crossing, but with more multiplayer support, a setting featuring a large city complete with skyscrapers and a new monetary system. So we'll see. But I'll be honest with you. If Nintendo was to launch a Switch 2 and it had Animal Crossing at launch and it had Mario Kart at launch, even with that small of a library, this thing would sell like hotcakes just because so many people love Animal Crossing, myself included. Oh man, with those games, I wouldn't even care as much if it doesn't have OLED. Oh yeah, no kidding, huh? I bet you it would though. I gotta believe it would have OLED. If it didn't, the only thing I could think of is if it did the what is it called, micro LED technology that's supposed to be really good. But I think that's more expensive. I'm not sure. So there's a few other rumored games here. And this is what I've heard is that part of the delay on the Switch 2 is Nintendo wants to have a strong launch lineup. And that's really more of the reason for a delay here than anything else. So a new Xenoblade, Pokemon Gen 2 with 2 other Pokemon games, a new Donkey Kong game, a new Star Fox game. So those are your first party games. And then third party, it's rumored to have Assassin's Creed Shadows, Visions of Mana, Persona 1 and 2 remakes, which I love Persona games. I've got them all, but I almost feel like Persona's everywhere now. So I'm not sure. I don't know. We'll have to see. New Jet Set Radio, Crazy Taxi, Golden Axe, Shinobi, Streets of Rage games from Sega, which I'm trying to remember if it was the Game Awards this past year or where it was, but Sony already announced all of those games as coming back. So it would make sense if they popped up on the new Nintendo console. Persona 3 Reload, Metaphor, Bayonet Trilogy, new Super Monkey Ball, new Monster Hunter, and GTA 6. Hey, Big Guns, how's it going? So that, or Big Gus, I saw your, I said Big Guns, I think. I saw your flex, and and guns. Yeah. Big Gus. Sorry, man. So yeah, that would be super cool. If we can get this. So, we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. I'm excited to see. And I mean, from a technology and a gaming perspective, of course, we get new phones. Then we're going to get a new PS5 Pro, which isn't for everybody, but we're still getting it. And then into next year, we get a new Nintendo console. I mean, again, load me up with Animal Crossing. That's going to carry me over for at least 6 months. So you'll see a lot of Animal Crossing streams. Anyways, so that's the Nintendo stuff. And that's the PlayStation stuff. As a reminder, if you're even remotely interested in picking up a PlayStation 5 Pro, you have 2 opportunities to pre-order it. The first is going to be on the 26th, which is this coming week. I think it's Thursday. Let me open up my calendar. Yeah. So Thursday coming up, that's your first opportunity. You'll have to go to, I believe it's direct.playstation.com. It's the PlayStation Store. And you'll be able to order 1. It's limited. You have to have a Sony account to do it. And then if you don't get in on that one, you'll be able to do a second round of pre-orders, which will be on October 3rd. And that's going to be everywhere else. Best Buy, Target, Amazon. And by the way, those listings are all up now. So not for the limited edition that we talked about a few moments ago, not for this one, but for the regular one. Absolutely. So that's that. So we talked about a little bit of tech in the iPhone, the Apple Watch, the iPad mini. We talked about some gaming. Let's just wrap it up with 2 last things here. I know I don't talk about music a whole lot on this channel, but I am super excited because I am a huge fan of The Cure, always have been. And it's been a very long time since The Cure has released a new album. They actually were touring last year. I was very fortunate enough to go to their tour. I've been to a lot of shows, a lot of concerts over my years, and this by far was the best. And I've seen them twice before. But I'd never been that close. Like I was 3 rows back from the stage, and it was intense. So they're doing a trickle campaign. So if you go to songsofalost.world, you're going to be greeted with this. And if you put in this special code, which translates to November 1st of this year, and you hit unlock, what it's going to do is it's going to pull open their page and just have a sample of their first track on their new album called Alone. Thing that's happening here. with the website, with some codes. They've got some special billboards that have popped up over in the UK, and they had one that popped up in New York. So yeah, November 1st, their album's coming out, and I'm really excited about that. So 2 seconds. My dogs are going nuts, which means I have somebody at my front door. My dogs love to do that. So give me 1 second. All right. They settled down. We're good. Anyways, what I was saying is, yeah, huge Cure fan. I was fortunate enough to see them when they toured last year. Had amazing seats. I posted a couple little clips from it. Their new album, first one in a long time, and this will probably be their last album ever, is my guess. I don't know if they'll tour again. I would imagine maybe they will at a smaller scale. It's coming out on November 1st, so I'm sure you'll hear more about that. Now, if we wrap things up here in this stream, I just want to let you know, because I'm super stoked about this, Disney's Epic Mickey Rebrush comes out on Tuesday. And this is coming out for PS5, PS4, Windows, Xbox One, Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch. You can pick up the standard edition, which is what I have ordered for my PS5, or you can get the limited edition that includes this really cool statue, a steel book, some art cards, and a few other things. That one is a little pricey at $199. So I won't be getting this, but I will be getting the game. And I'm very excited about this. I played the demo. This is a game that is over 11 years old, originally made its way on the Nintendo Wii. And based off of the demo, obviously we're getting much improved graphics. We're getting better controls. And it's not just an upgrade to the graphics and the gameplay, but it's a real quality of life thing. So I am super, super excited to play through this again. And I'm going to be streaming it. So I'm going to do something a little bit different with this one. And I mean, here's some artwork from it as well. Super cool. I'm going to do something a little bit different with this one. I'm going to stream it on Tuesday evening on this channel. And I know I typically don't stream a lot of game stuff here. Let's go back over here. So I know I don't stream a lot of game stuff here because I try to keep it to videos only, especially right now with all the tech stuff that I'm covering with the new iPhone release. But I will be streaming it here on the channel on Tuesday night, and then we'll see where it goes from there. If I just do a follow-up video on the channel, but I also have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Metagamers. So I can guarantee you I'll be doing some streaming of it over there. But as soon as I pick it up on Tuesday, this Tuesday, I'm going to fire it up. I'll play the first couple of hours as a live stream here on the channel. And I'd love for you guys to join me and watch it live. So that's kind of the plan for this week. Again, I really appreciate you all joining and tuning in. I hope you're having a fantastic Sunday. I know for a lot of people, it's football season. And so Sundays typically are a big football day. Believe it or not, I'm a hockey guy. I don't really watch football. I watch a lot of ice hockey. I used to play ice hockey. Not ashamed to say it. Longtime San Jose Sharks fan. Painful past few seasons. But hope is on the horizon with the team, and they're having a preseason game tonight at 5 p.m. against the Las Vegas Knights. So yeah, I'll be listening in on that one and seeing how things go. But that's kind of the plan for this week. You'll have some content trickling out on this YouTube channel throughout the course of the week, showing you some more cases, some more content as it pertains to the new iPhone release. And then I will come back and I'll do a live stream on Tuesday of Epic Mickey Rebrushed here on the channel. And then, of course, keep an eye on the community tab because I will announce when our next live is going to be, aside from that Epic Mickey one. I'm always going to do it on the weekend. I just haven't settled in on whether it'll be every Saturday or every Sunday, or just kind of, hey, keep an eye on the community tab. I'll announce it and we'll go live then. Just kind of get my footing and a good routine for that. And if you like the gaming live streams, let me know. I'll try to mix them in a little bit more here. I'm just trying to keep it separate, and keep that stuff over on my Twitch. But for Mickey, I feel like I should at least do one live stream over here. So yeah, that's going to do it. I appreciate all you joining in. I appreciate the conversation that we had in chat. You can always feel free to ask questions in the chat, or even after the fact in the comments. I try to respond to as many as I can. And I'm also thinking about how I can kick off giveaways again. It's been a while since I've done some giveaways. And of course, the most natural thing seems to be cases, right? Because I have a lot. So stay tuned for that. I've got to figure out the logistics of how I want to do that. But that's not something that is out of the question. So thanks again. I appreciate all of you. Pippuccino, thank you. Big Gus, thank you. And everybody else who watched either live or the replay, thank you very much. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your weekend. I hope to see you back here on the channel Tuesday when I stream Epic Mickey. Otherwise, feel free to watch any of the content and just say hi in the comments. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great week ahead. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.